20 resumes, 30 resumes, maybe 40, 50, or 100 resumes, and almost no replies. Well, you're not underqualified. You're not even overqualified even. It doesn't matter. Why is that? You're invisible. That's because 8 out of 10 companies are using AI-related tracking systems that are actually determining whether you're worth a look by the hiring team, by even the recruiter for that matter. What we have to do here is find a way to turn that technology around against them and get your resume to get you in front of the hiring manager for that interview. I'm Joe, and I've been in the IT industry for over 20 years, and I've looked at thousands of resumes in different roles, and I've also been a coach for about 10 years. And I can tell you right now that this is the hardest time for you to get in front of potential employers. I'm here to give you my 4-step playbook to help get you enabled so that you get your resume in front of that hiring team. And I'm also going to walk you through some tools as well to give you that insight on how you get your resume ready as quickly as possible and get that interview. Did you know a single job posting just on LinkedIn can get over 300 applicants in a week? I've even seen some in less than a week get over 1,000 applicants. I was like, wow, this is just nuts. That's just on one platform, be it two. So just LinkedIn, never mind other platforms. Now, these ATSs were designed specifically to help reduce the number of resumes that recruiting and HR have to look at. They want to be able to take the top percentage of resumes that they're looking for, whatever that number is set in the ATS to be. Usually ATSs are going to look at between 80% or so, maybe 85% of the resumes and just dump them. In other words, there could be a number of reasons that they're dumped. And then the remaining amount, 10, 20%, let's say, will go to the recruiter. Now, these ATSs are going to look for keywords. They're going to look at font style. They're going to look at formatting, spacing even as well. So the wrong font, the wrong style, even having, for example, a headshot in the resume can cause issues. And so what we want to do is make sure that your resume is not deleted immediately. You want to have the human touch. And in this video, I want to help you get into the right pile. That is the one with the recruiter giving you a call to talk more about you with the role. Our workflow is called Match. The Match workflow is map, analyze, tailor, and humanize. It's really 4 quick steps that you could do tonight and get your resume ready to be submitted as soon as possible. The first step is map. Map is when we want to start with a plain text master resume, and we want to save it as a doc file. We do not want to have columns or graphics in the resume. That's very important. We want to use tools such as Resso.ai to help us with understanding the resume, to get insight, and also match it to potential job descriptions. Or Teal is another good tool as well. We want to be able to use these tools and compare it to the job description. Now, typically, we want to aim for at least a 75% match. It's very important to get it as high as possible. The next step, step 2, is to analyze. We want to look at the keyword panel and make sure that we're able to take every relevant skill we have and also ensure that we have the exact phrase. For example, if it says project management, we want to have project management in there and not program management or product management. Now, it's important to realize, again, we have the exact phrase. Also, don't put PM in there. Use project management if that's what it has. So what we want to do is to really become bilingual in robot and human speak. So we need to make sure, again, we're able to match up everything exactly. AI is basically going to look at exact matches in an ATS. The next step is to tailor the resume. We have to be able first to have a copy that we could clone. So make sure we have a template ready, clone that, and then feed a copy into ChatGPT. We then want to prompt it so that we could weave keywords meaning that we're going to extrapolate or extract the keywords that are going to be in the job description and correlate that to our experience. And we want to do that naturally, of course, right? Don't try to make up stories because that will only bite you later. So what we want to do then is swap a bullet point or two and make sure that each of the applications that you use that resume on is tailored. So for example, if you're submitting to a project manager role versus a, let's say, program manager or a DevOps engineer role or a cloud architect, or let's say you're a marketer, whatever your role is, make sure you have a resume for each type of role that you're submitting to. For example, in my case, I can do cloud architecture. I am a cloud architect, but I also did a lot of blockchain architecture as well. So I had to have two different resumes just for that. The next step is to check and humanize. In other words, we need to check the resume after we made modifications, we adjusted keywords, we looked at phrases and made changes, right? So when we do that, we need to get that score up. We want to see an 80 to 95% or so on the resume score. So choose a platform you want to use again, whether it's Resso or Teal or any other platform that can score the resume for you, and make sure that you're able to get that number up. Now, the next thing you want to do is to double check all the wording to make sure it doesn't sound too robotic. In other words, we need to humanize it. We want to make sure that we change the terms or the way the terms are written so that it doesn't sound like it's ChatGPT. Add numbers. For example, let's say you were in HR and you were able to reduce onboarding time by 25%. Add that in there. Make it sound real. Or in my case, I sold so much in volume when it comes to pre-sales engineering. Or I reduced overhead for a company using AWS services. Identify the numbers, right? The numbers are something that, again, the ATS likes to look for. So we could also use AI for more than just our resume. We could go ahead and draft a cover letter by asking ChatGPT to link our wins to the job description and then add a personal touch. If we're preparing for the interview, we could ask ChatGPT to generate specific behavioral questions from the job description and then add bullet points to the resume and practice against it if we want. So just a number of things we could do. We could also use AI job discovery tools to find curated leads while we sleep. So for example, we could use services like FlexJobs to help us take care of some of that. It's so important that we humanize all the content in the resume. Remember, if it sounds too robotic, don't use it. We want to be able to have words and phrases in the resume that we would use, let's say, talking over coffee. We want to make sure as well that we're authentic. And that's what's going to also help catch the eyes of the recruiter as well. So to recap what we covered and what you should do next is first, we want to make sure that we use a plain text resume. Make sure we scan it and tailor it appropriately with AI. We could use whatever tools appropriate in our case. Again, some are free, some are paid. And also, we want to make sure we do that final read through as well. Make it sound human, right? Do that, and the bots will certainly help wave you through more often to the recruiting team. Want my exact prompts and my match checklist as well? The link is in below. If this video helped you and you learned a few things, please subscribe, hit the like button, and also let us know in the comments what has helped. Next week, we're going to be using AI to help us negotiate salary, so stay tuned for that video.